Are violent outbursts rooted in fear and hate? Hello, my name is Nicole Shaughnessy, and today I'll be talking about extreme emotions such as fear and hate and how they can be reduced with our mindsets and learning healthier ways to handle them. This can actually lead to less violent outbursts and actions later on. George Washington Carver once said, "Fear of something is at the root of hate for others, and hate within will eventually destroy the hater." So, what is hate? The textbook definition is that it is an intense or passionate dislike, and actually is a human trait. It can be used for good, though, or motivation for change. According to Marian Rodriguez, a cognitive behavioral therapist, hate can be rational, such as when we hate unjust acts, but hate of certain ethnic groups, religions, races, or sexual orientations is based on irrational beliefs that lead to hatred of others as well as hate crimes. Many hate crimes stem from fear of the unknown, fear of change, and even fear of ourselves. In 2019, a mass shooting occurred at the Christchurch Mosque in New Zealand. The gunman was a white supremacist who posted his manifesto online about his hatred of Islam and immigrants. This type of fear stems from fear of change, whether that be in the culture, politics, or one's way of life. The gunman feared that immigrants were ruining towns and cities and destroying his white way of life. A more recent example would be the hate crimes occurring to Asians during this COVID pandemic. Everyone is concerned during this challenging time, but there are some who have taken their fear down a darker path. According to Forbes, hate crimes against Asian Americans and Asian immigrants in the United States have been surging. They have ranged from verbal harassment to denial of services to physical attacks. These hate crimes establish how many people do not have the right mindset or tools in handling their emotions, such as fear and anger, and it leads them to lash out. So the question now is, what can we do to change this? How do we stop this hatred that is rooted in our own fear? First, we need to acknowledge that hate is human nature, but it is also learned. Learned in the sense of how we are taught to handle it and how our mindsets can change it into something positive. A quote from Muhammad Ali states that what you are thinking is what you're becoming. This quote is significant because it exemplifies how our mindsets control our behaviors. When we are thinking about hate and do not know how to deal with it, we tend to become destructive to ourselves and to others. So, the solution to this is to learn new mindsets that deal with fear and hate and give us the knowledge on how to handle them. Many psychology articles have tips on how to deal with these extreme emotions, and they suggest that you should first acknowledge that emotion, but also find the stem of why you are feeling this way and look at it from a different perspective. This type of thinking calms people down and allows them to look at their emotions more closely, which we often don't do. When dealing with intense emotions, one shouldn't push it aside but be asking why. Why do I feel this way? Why do I not like that? And find out the stem of these emotions. You can also just try to calm down and do more positive reinforcement stuff instead of maybe breaking things or throwing outbursts. There's journaling and exercising. So, to stop letting hatred and fear control us, we need to change our mindsets and find new ways to deal with these emotions. And as Rosa Parks said, I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. So now we've learned the relationship between fear and hatred and how these emotions can lead to hate crimes and more. We've also learned that our mindsets can control these extreme emotions and have the power to make them into something positive. So what I'm suggesting is that we take this knowledge and apply it to the education system. Children should be taught the basic tools in handling their emotions, especially extreme ones such as anger, fear, and hatred. When I was in elementary school, I was being bullied by people I considered friends, and not knowing how to deal with these emotions, I went to my teacher expressing the anger and hurt that I was feeling, and instead of helping me, they told me I was overreacting and didn't do anything at all. While not every case is like this, by the education system not teaching students how to handle their emotions, they are inadvertently teaching them to not deal with them at all. This could lead to violent outbursts and mental health issues later. I believe that by embedding the tools to handle extreme emotions into the basic curriculum, such as asking students maybe why a character is feeling this way or empathizing with them, there will be progress in the younger generation in handling their emotions such as fear and anger and can lead to a decrease in violent acts. While the school system should not have to have all of this weight, as so does parents and friends influence their children, this is just one small step into making a change and leading to more people being able to handle their emotions and hopefully decreasing violent outbursts later on. By learning new mindsets, we can make progress in our society and younger generations. As Shirley Chisholm said, "You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas."